Hello, 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 and apologies. I am so sorry that I have not recorded for the last couple of days, but I have had such a busy couple of days, and my youngest son came up from Cardiff and is staying with his sisters. And I've got to be honest, I've spent some time with him, and then coming back, it was too late to record because I've done it before, haven't I? And it's so dark when I do it on a night time. So many apologies, but I'm sure you'll understand. So back to the big experiment, and this is chapter 57. Listen, I don't mean to be condescending, but I don't suppose you've ever linked computers together before using cables and all that stuff. It's not that I don't think you could, you totally could. It's just that most people don't bother. Why would you? I mean, you can link computers up on a home network as easy as pie, but doing it physically with extra bits and bobs and a motherboard, well, two actually, connecting all the other bits, the CPU, the hard drive, and whatnot, well, all I can say is that I couldn't do it, but Pi makes it look so easy. Not that I'm concentrating much, nor would you if you were stuck in a past dimension of space-time and your only way back was currently drying out over the back of a fridge or covered in used cat litter. I keep going over to it and lifting it up and looking at it, as if that would make any difference. Mr. Melling, the tech teacher, he lets me in here at lunchtimes during term, and he lent me all the stuff to make my own computer, Pi is saying as I watch him, and he's using a soldering iron to attach a long wire to a printed circuit board. He nods towards the corner of the room. There's a TV screen, a keyboard, and a metal tray with all the insides of a computer revealed. It's like a computer's died, and that's the post-mortem, I say. Pi laughs. Yes, but this one lives. Look. He goes over to it, plugs in a cable, and switches it on. A few seconds later, the screen lights up with the word ZAP. Bye, Pi Chaudhry, in blocky letters. Want a game? You invented a game? It's not all that good. There's a few glitches, like when you get a new high score, you go back to 0, which I haven't worked out how to fix yet, but he gives a shy half smile. Yeah, I wrote the code for it. Took me ages. In fact, the idea is pretty good, using the left, right, up and down keys on the keyboard. You have to move your cursor around to dodge this random creature that looks like a bear with a big mouth, and at the same time pick up boxes with points in them. Okay, compared even with simple stuff like Donkey Kong, ZAP is rubbish. But of course I don't tell Pi that. And in truth, it's pretty good fun. Although Pi totally beats me because, as he eventually admits, he has a good idea where the bear is coming from next time because he hasn't got the random bit working completely. Randomness, like proper randomness, is really hard to program. Still, he made it himself. This guy is a sheer genius. After about 10 minutes of this, Pi turns back to the main table. As he turns, his elbow catches my backpack, which falls, spilling the contents all over the floor. Hey, sorry, he says, and he starts picking the stuff up and then stops. He stands up holding the family photo I grabbed from my bedside table. This your mum and dad? He asks, looking at it closely. My mouth goes dry. They look nice. What are they called? I have thought about this, but so far reached no conclusion. The thing is, I just can't decide. I've had this debate going on in my head for days now. 1. Tell Pi he is my father, that I am from 30 years in the future, and that I'm using a primitive time machine that he designed in order to save his life. I know, mind melter what? What's more, in telling him this, I could be fundamentally altering what happens in the future. If I tell him he designs a time machine, then he may end up making it, I don't know, 10 years earlier or later, or I don't know, it could just change so many things. 2. Don't tell him. Well, that's only half knowing someone, isn't it? It's like I'm keeping a big secret from a friend. And I'd really like to hang out more with Pi. And yes, I know it's all a bit strange, and I suppose if I do tell him, he won't believe me. Or if he does, he'd definitely be weirded out. I know I would be. So, for now, I reply, Albert, like me, and my mum is Sarah. He stares at the picture very closely, then smiles. He looks just like my dad. They could be brothers, in fact. Like us. Hey, maybe they are, separated at birth, and their parents never told them about each other. No, I say quickly. That can't be true. Besides, they speak with different accents. Well, one could have come to Britain before. Hang on, how do you know how my dad speaks? Whoops. Just guessing. Does he have an Indian accent? Sorry about that, guys. I was ignoring that. I hope you did too. Yeah, but we're not allowed to speak Punjabi at home, he says. That is the language of another time, another life. Pythagoras. We are British now. Pi wobbles his head like Grandpa Byron does, and I'm suddenly filled with regret at how we parted. I know it would be wrong. It could threaten everything. But I blurt out, Can I meet your dad? He sounds great. Of course you can. He's working late tonight, but you can come round tomorrow after we've been on my go-kart. I mean, only if you want to. And we've still got this to finish, he adds, pointing at the central table with 5 of the 6 computers now linked up. Your go-kart. Of course, I know all about this, but I'm doing pretty well at not showing it. Well, I think I am. Yeah, I built it with my dad. It's not a real go-kart, it's just a bogie, but it's completely ace. I'm back at the fridge now looking at my laptop. Outside, the sky's begun to darken earlier than usual, with a big black cloud looking grim and threatening. I'd leave it overnight if I were you. Looks like it's going to rain. We should be getting back. Pi puts the key back in the brick hole. We hop over the low wall, and he turns to me, hunching his shoulders as the rain begins to fall. Well, you go that way, I guess. Yeah. Al, I've had a really good time today. Thanks for, He tails off, and I let him take his time. He chews his lip and looks down like he's searching for the right words on the ground. I don't really have many... Well, look, Macca. He's not much of a friend, you're right. But, well, it was better than nobody. There's a long pause, then he adds, Till now. And he gives his shy half-smile again and walks away quickly. 10 metres later, he turns back. See you right here tomorrow? I decide to risk something. With the lean, mean green machine, a broad grin splits his face. How the... Yeah. And then he adds, and I still want to meet your hamster. I wait until he's gone, then turn back and run back to the rusty blue door, letting myself in with the key and shaking the rain off my hair. Alan Shearer, Alan Shearer, Alan Shearer. How am I going to get him back? I look around the tech lab. This will be my bed for the night. Half a packet of biscuits and an apple later, it's beginning to get dark, and I'm dozing off, and then it's a thunderclap that wakes me, the boom, making the school windows rattle, and I think, as I often do when the weather's bad at night, how lucky I am to be human and indoors and not an outside animal, or indeed a hamster in a drawer in an underground bunker. I take a long breath as I realise something. I'm not going to sleep again until I have rescued Alan Shearer. I have to go back to Macca's house. Well, oh, hang on, there's one more little bit here before the next chapter. Yes, sorry. How thunder works. My dad used to tell me that thunder is the noise that the rain clouds make when they bump together. Then they crack and all the rain spills out. I believed him for ages. In truth, thunder is lightning. At any rate, it's the noise of lightning. It's just that lightning travels at the speed of light, so you see it pretty much as soon as it flashes. The sound of the lightning, thunder, travels much, much slower, so you hear it afterwards. Well, I never knew that, Maple, did you? Makes perfect sense. When you see lightning, start counting slowly until you hear the thunder. Then divide the number you get by 3. That's how many kilometres away the storm is. If the number gets smaller, then the storm is getting closer. Now that's funny he's put that little note in there, because my parents always told me when I was a little girl that you hear the lightning, then you count from then until you hear the thunder, and that's how many miles it was away. There was nothing being divided by 3, but these guys being computer whizzes in that, I think they're probably right, don't you? Anyway, Maple, I'm so sorry this is so late, but I am on the case now, and I will be on chapter 58 next. So I hope you get to enjoy this one today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Okay, take care. Bye.